Salutations, everybody! My name is Monkey Shrapnel from the Guys Who Play Games. Back with some more Final Fantasy IX in depth. And I giggle a little bit because I caught the flu like 2 weeks ago and it kinda messed me up, but also not really because there's been one of the strangest flus I've ever had where it's like every day was like a different symptom for like the first week. It's like the Tuesday night I caught it. I went to bed with like extreme nausea and like cold sweats. And then the day after it was like what was it? Like fever and I think sore throat. And then when I went to work on Thursday, it was like mostly just me doing a ton of gagging and like puking up phlegm. And then Friday was when I got the sore throat and stuffy nose. But then like the stuffy nose mostly went away on the after that. It was weird. It's like every day it felt like something different. Like it mostly finished off the week I've been here ever since with the just sore throat and stuffy nose for a while. That lasted a while after, but it was still pretty unusual. I'll say this much. I'm not usually sick for so long. Usually if I'm sick, it's like I get sick for a couple days really badly and then mostly you just have a stuffy nose after that. Maybe a sore throat will last a little longer, but this one lasted quite a while. It lasted like 2 weeks and I still have I still have the bit of the scratchy throat and my nose is still a little phlegmy. Anyways, today we're gonna actually try to finish off the friendly monsters for the most part. I might not do all of them, but there's like 4 left, and 3 of them are like ones we haven't really seen yet. Oh, god damn it. Nice dodge. Alright, so the monster we're trying to look for here is a bit of an oddball, because it's probably the rarest one of them all, I'd say, because you can find it pretty much, not actually everywhere on the Forgotten Continent, but it's in a lot of spots. However, while it's in a lot of spots, you'd be surprised that it's like the most common one is actually where we are right now. Well, there's a couple spots where it's kind of common, but like the most common like encounter chance is 12.5%, which, as you can imagine, is not that common. You know, it's a 1 in 8. And I picked this spot because the Chocobo tracks specifically have a different encounter rate, and the encounter rate does favor another monster we haven't actually seen yet, because the friendly monster is just, you know, the friendly version of this guy we haven't seen yet. So if we get to see him, you know, it'll be two birds with one stone, right? Hopefully. There they are. These funky looking dudes. I haven't even got a back attack on them. These guys are Jabberwocks. These guys, we could have seen these all the way back on, like, as soon as we got here, but even when you get here for the first time, they're not that common of an encounter. They only show up in a couple spots, and they don't generally like to show up in the evening area. They're not that... I mean, when you first get here, they can be actually kind of threatening, because they have a surprisingly large amount of HP for what they look like. They have about as much as they have, like, a little over 3,500 or something like that. Like, actually, let me scan them. But while they are a little bit tanky, they're not that threatening because they tend to waste a lot of their turns kind of doing nothing. Oh, it's just under 3,500. They're also weak to Thunder and Shadow, surprisingly. The Shadow thing is probably just because there's a friendly monster based on them, so that's kind of how that tends to work. But, what they like to do, I don't know if we'll get to see, he's just spamming Earthquakes. That they might, it wouldn't surprise me if they spam Earthquake when there's only one of them. But they have like a bit of an odd attack pattern otherwise. It looks like he's just gonna spam Earthquake. I guess that's fine then. Let's take advantage of our new Masamune. Or, actually, yeah, Masamune. This is just... Actually, is this? Let me see. Yeah. I'll just let him slowly die and we'll see if he does anything else. While we try to steal his stuff from him. But otherwise, I'm giving him the chance, you know? Will he do his thing? Before he dies. Doesn't look like it. Hey, we got the high potion. It says it missed, which is kind of funny, but I think that might just be a weird quirk of how still like targeting stuff. Like because he died right before it actually hit him, it says it misses, but stealing is sort of funky like that. Alright, and what's her face learned auto float, so I guess I'll take that boots off her. Wow, I have been meaning to use Odin's sword, so there. And we don't really need eye for eye anymore, so let's put on the golden skull cap to give him power up! We'll see what that does later, but for now I'm just gonna take Masamune off. I'm gonna put back on the Sergeant Blade. The Sagittarius, because I'm just gonna be running around these tracks for a bit. It's a 1 in 8 chance to find the friendly version of the Jabberwock. And it's basically just exactly what you expect. It's just complete luck. And we just kind of have to run around and hope we find them. There's a couple spots in the evening areas they can show up, but for the most part, these guys only tend to show up in the daytime areas. At the very least, this is a great way for me to just grind out some AP, I guess, while we're here. Because everything here is going to give a lot of AP, so hey. You get eye for eye, which I guess I can take that off now. Does he have anything else to learn at this point? Not really. Like, I guess I'll just slap on the dark here. I'll give Zaiden the Brave. Actually, you know what? We'll give Amaranth the Braves too, because hey, maybe he'll actually get to take advantage of that raised fire elemental attack in some weird circumstance. Alright, come on, game. How much money do we have? Quite a lot, so we don't have to worry about that. Come on, game. Cut me some slack here. It's a 1 in 8 chance, so it's not like it's that common. Like I said, it's a 1 in 8. Those are literally the best odds. It's a rare encounter, so you're not going to get to see it too often, unfortunately. See, this is more of what I was talking about. They have this attack called Everyone Light, which is basically just float. But it's like, it has like a different animation and like different name and everything. Like, and let's see if they do anything else. Because what they'll do is they'll make you float and then they'll cast Air on you, which may seem kind of odd because, you know, you might think, oh, because you're floating, it makes the wind elemental attack stronger, but it doesn't actually do that. Which does suggest that maybe at some point they were planning on making it do that, but they just, like, didn't get around to it or something? Who knows? It's a bit of an oddball mechanic. Do-do-do. Alright, come on, game. Come on, game. You gotta cut me some slack here. It's literally... Come on. So I know it's 1 in 8, but... Here I am hoping that I get lucky. You know what? I think at this point we're just gonna cut. So... Because it might take me a while. This is the... Like I said, this is by far the rarest friendly monster encounter. Because, like, even Jabberwocks themselves are not exactly a common encounter. This is, like, one of the few spots that are pretty common to show up in, and it's like, well... Anyways, yeah, I will cut to when we actually find Mr. Jabberwock. So, see you guys then. There we go! There's our buddy. Look at him with his book and his fancy color scheme. He wants the emerald, the one and only emerald. Not the, well, I guess not the one and only, but one of very few emeralds you get. You gotta use for the friendly monster quest here. Let's throw it at his big fat face. Feather circle. How quaint. It gives us a nice 40 AP. And it gives us a moonstone. Once again, one of the only moonstones you get. Which is what makes these another reason why it's kind of scary to actually like use these. Because obviously if you don't have any emeralds or moonstones left, then you fail the friendly monster side quest essentially, because you can't give them the items they want anymore. I moved over here to this little grass patch, because apparently this grass patch, it's actually the same odds, it's 1 in 8, but the monster that shows up here is only ever a Draco zombie instead of any of the other guys, so it's it's a little less annoying to run into Draco zombies compared to the Jabberwock group who will spam Earthquake and take forever. Anyways, I'm actually gonna double check here. I'm pretty sure the feather circle is just on the snow, but I'm gonna double check here. It's actually the same odds. Would you believe it? It's a 1 in 8 chance on the snow. There are a lot of monsters actually that can show up in the snow in this little spot though, which is kind of interesting, I guess. So I'm gonna plop down here. I'm not particularly worried about dying, so I'll just kill everyone quickly, but it is a little spicy because there are some monsters that can be a bit of a problem, I guess, but nothing that's gonna like kill me, I guess. Alright, let's get boost on Garnet finally. Actually, since we're here, and I think Vivi's learned basically everything he needs to learn. Like, he hasn't quite got half MP, but that's not that big a deal, I guess. I don't know. Amaranth's got everything. Like, Power Throw's almost done. So, I think Aiko also needs to learn Boost, so I might as well get her on here. Steiner and Freyr mostly fine. None of their stuff is particularly, like, lengthy to learn. So let's take Amaranth and put Aiko in, I guess. So what's Aiko at? She's also pretty, like, high up there. I don't think she needs basically anything else at this point, so... Alright. And it'll be good to have 2 white mages, you know. We especially don't... Like, I don't need to kill anything at this point, it's just... I want the friendly feather circle. And we just run around the snow. There are a couple funny encounters here. For some reason, I'm not sure why they're here, but There's a couple of funny, like, dudes that only show up here after the mist returns, so I guess we'll see. If I run into them right away, it'd be funny, but otherwise it's just gonna be another case of I'll cut to when we actually see them. Oh god, the triple Veppel, alright. I'll cut back to when we find someone funny, so see you guys then. Hey, there we go. I ended up actually finding it before the funny monster, but the funny monster is one we've already seen. So I'll just mention that once the mist comes back, you can find zombies here for some reason. Of all places, you can find them in this frozen area. I don't know why this is the place that zombies hang out, but I just think it's a funny spot for them to be. Alright, Moonstone Baby. There you go. Thank you. Have you met Garuda? That one actually gives us less AP than the Jabberwock, though, which is kind of funny. It only gives us 30 AP. Jabberwock gave us 40. I'm not sure why. Bit of an oddball, I guess, but alright, we're gonna take you out of the party and we're gonna put Amaranth back in, I think. Because we're gonna go find Garuda. Garuda's not in the spot. Well, I mean, I guess it's kind of in the spot you might expect it to be, but oops. Well, you know, it's fine. We're gonna go to where where Garuda is, which is funny enough, it's one of the first friendly monsters you can actually run into. It's all the way over by... where is it? Gazamaluk's Grotto. There's a couple spots that we've seen Garudas, like they showed up in Oilvert, and they show up at whatchamacallit, the snow place I always forget the name of when I'm not paying attention. I'm actually gonna look at I'm gonna look it up right now. The name is Estogaza, right? They show up in Estogaza, but there's a third spot they can show up, which is over here by this weird little patch of forest that you can walk into and get smashed by Grand Dragons way earlier in the game. Because the Grand Dragons show up on the actual like mountain spot, but the Garudas show up in the forest. Let me see if Steiner and Frey have anything they can really learn at this point. Like, this is what I mean, like, yeah, okay, I can teach him Flim Hazard, but he can just get that from the Excalibur while he's using it, and, like, Excalibur is pretty strong, like, Eye for Eye is pretty good, but he doesn't need that much to learn that, either. And, like, Steiner's, like, plenty good on his own, so it's not like it's gonna be a struggle to teach that or anything. And then Dragon's Breath is literally Freya's best weapon, so who cares, right? She doesn't need to worry about learning that anytime soon. So we'll just put Amaranth back in so he can get the rest of his stuff. And now for the final, not you-know-who friendly monster to fight. As we just kind of run around in the forest here. Actually, I'm in the wrong spot. Because there's a couple, yeah, this is the spot. I don't think it actually matters, but this is the one I like to go to because obviously in this particular patch of forest, you can actually go back into Gazamaluk's Grotto, which I'm actually going to do for a sec because I do have a nut to give, so I might as well, since we're here, right? And it'll give us opinion, which, like, why not? I'm gonna use a tent just because why not? I'm here. See the cute little babies. It's the last nut we can even give because we've done the rest of the side quests, so there are no more letters to deliver. if you're gung-ho about delivering nuts every time you get one, you can get quite a bit of extra pinions, but I just didn't care enough. It's not a big deal, I don't think. Hey, wow, first try. So instead of fighting any Gerudos, we're just gonna immediately find the friendly Gerudo. The friendly Gerudo in particular has a pretty cool design, because it's like its hair goes over its eyes. Anyways, this guy wants Lapis Lazuli, and unlike the other ones, you can just give him the Lapis Lazuli. Because you can synthesize those. To this day, I'm not sure why they even do it like that. And then friendly Gerudo here doesn't even give us a hint. It's just, yeah, erg. 40 AP, boom. But they do give you a diamond, which is another one that you can only get a couple of. And I guess at this point we'll just slap the ribbon on Aiko, because, like, yeah, my Dean takes a lot of AP, but, like, it doesn't really matter that much, you know what I mean? Give Amulet the Protect Ring, I guess, so he can certainly long reach. Not that it really matters, but, you know, might as well. I guess since we're close by, I guess I'll go to Trino, actually. Because if we have the money, we might as well finish off the auction house while we're here, because I think we can rebuy that magical fingertip, right? Pretty sure? So I might as well, right? And if not, well, we can see what else shows up in the auction house at this point. It's mostly going to be stuff we already have, but you know, I can check it out. This is going to be, once again, you know, big surprise, I'm sure, but it's going to be a bit of a shorter, more boring part, but that should change, because I think that's pretty much everything I want to do beforehand, because I don't want to do Friendly Yan just yet. I want to wait on that. And we're not going to fight the actual Yans yet, because they're going to murder my ass still, so we'll be heading off to the final dungeon, I think, after this. Because we've been kind of prepping for that, which maybe prepping a bit too much, but I didn't want to go in, have to like leave constantly, because the final dungeon is a little annoying in one regard. Oh, we can't get another ribbon. I might as well, right? I'm actually going to turbo speed past this. You look at me using official speed up. Because we have to wait for the whole thing to go. Ribbon's a pretty good accessory, so I might as well, right? Perfect, alright. The acclaimed ribbon starting at already, like, look how much money it starts at. This is expensive. Like, we have 6-digit Gale, but only just barely. So, like, this is gonna chunk into us if this ends up being too high. I might not even bother. I mean, I say that, but it's not like there's much else at this point to spend money on. I'm just kind of curious, almost, more than anything. Look how high this goes. Holy moly macaroni. You know what? I'm gonna say that's good enough. That is way too expensive for my blood at this point. Maybe once we kill some stuff in the final dungeon, but not right now. I say the final dungeon, nothing about the actual final dungeon is annoying. The problem is that there's one side quest, and I'm still not sure if I even want to do it, that requires you to go back and forth. And I'm being coy about this. Anyone who's, kept their nose to the grind has probably heard of what I'm talking about, but there is a bit of a funny little side quest in this part of the game related to the final dungeon that went undiscovered for how many years, at least in the English-speaking community, because, well, frankly, just no one cared, or even really there's no real easy way to find out other than brute forcing it, because we didn't have a good guidebook like they had over in other places. Anyways, yeah, I think that'll be it for this part. It's gonna be short because it's just the 3 friendly monsters and whatnot, but that's fine. So yeah, see you guys later.